Hi everyone and welcome back to the Green Man for another ranking video, ranking the discography, and this time I'm attempting to rank Insomnium from least favourite to favourite. And this is obviously, this is my least favourite to my favourite, so it's a personal list, and obviously yours will differ, I suspect, most likely, or you never know, it might be a slight chance it's actually the same, who knows. But anyway, I would say I've been a pretty long time fan of this band. I think they are fantastic. Rather like with this video, with the video I did for Opeth, where I could hardly find. I was struggling to find reasons for my order by sort of half. I think the midpoint of that list, it started to get extremely difficult. I suspect with this it will be the same case. Pretty much, Insomnium consistently deliver excellent albums. For me, there have been almost very few, if not hardly any slip-ups from Insomnium. They are just a great band, and who are just great at their art. They're great at creating this wonderful blend of melodic death metal with sort of amazing, I would say, folky sections almost in their music. And they've just mastered their craft over the years, and that will be evidenced, I think, by this list, that it's not one of those lists where all the old albums are at the top without wanting to give too much away, and all the new albums are at the bottom. So this is an interesting one for me to do in a way, but it's difficult because, as I say, all their albums are, at the very least, decent offerings, I think. So to begin with then, this first album, this might be actually a bit of a shock to be bottom of this list for certain Insomnium fans, or what would you call Insomnium fans actually? Insomniacs? I'm not sure, maybe that doesn't work so well. But my first choice, One for Sorrow, is at bottom place. I'm sorry, One for Sorrow fans, but I'm not one for Sorrow. I'm on form this evening. I didn't really. It didn't grab me much. It just didn't grab me much. I think that's probably the simplest reason I can give for putting this at the bottom of the list. I mean, Through the Shadows, a very catchy track which gets stuck in your head for the rest of the day if you listen to that one. That chorus is extremely catchy. Song of the Blackest Birds, okay. I mean, I think for me, the sort of album, it doesn't quite, in the same way that the other Insomnium albums really grab you from a very early point and really take you on usually a pretty emotive and heart-wrenching, powerful journey. This album for me didn't quite do that, and that's why it's probably my least favourite, but it's still a good album. It's still a solid album from Insomnium. So what's my next choice? I don't have the CD actually for some of these, so sacrilege, first of all, can I just say. I would admit that. Number 7 is In the Halls of Awaiting. So this was their debut album, and this was a really, really pretty strong debut from Insomnium. I can't really argue with that. Pretty raw sounding as well, and it kind of reminded me a bit of 1990s In Flames. I think it could probably maybe they drew some inspiration from that Insomnium, I don't know. But there was definitely that sort of familiar Melodeth, raw Melodeth sound that I got from a lot of this album. The rhythms certainly display that, and there's not so many of the cleaner sections as in, I think, some of their later records, where the cleaner, folkier, really melodic stuff takes center stage a bit more. I think in this album it's a bit more of the raw kind of death metal side of the sounds that we see a bit more prevalent, I think, in this debut record. Number 6, perhaps another controversial pick, I'm not sure, but I've actually put Across the Dark at number 6. Really good album. I mean, this is where this gets difficult. I think everything from this album onwards I absolutely love. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the next 6 albums, including this one, rather. This is it's really good music. I mean, I can hardly fault it. Got Harrowing Years. Lay of the Autumn is one of my favourite Insomnium tracks, actually, period. I think that's a great track. And, it sort of draws, I think it has quite a nice balance to it, this album as well. If anything, though, I can't really sort of. This is where, as with the Opeth video, I start to struggle a bit with finding my reasons. But I think it's starting just to get purely it's just taste, and I couldn't quite with Across the Dark. I have not been back to it very much as the other Insomnium albums that are to come on this list. And for me, it's sort of it feels like there was more that could have. I felt like there could have been even more on this album that could have been done. Perhaps, I don't know, but it just, Across the Dark is just slightly behind the others. I guess there's not much difference between these top six, crazy though that may sound. Number 5, Shadows of a Dying Sun. And this was a difficult one to place because I think this is one of perhaps the best produced album. It's just got everything is in such brilliantly mixed in. The mix is so good with this album, and it was the album that really got me into Insomnium. So I can't really be super critical of it, and I think I can't be critical of it really at all. I think it's a really good album, and that production being so crisp just displays how strong Insomnium can be for me. And their song While We Sleep is a few minutes of sheer majesty of guitar playing, instrumentation, and that wonderful Van Haller guitar solo at the very end of the song. And you can see the reactions that this track gets on YouTube. I mean, it is such a popular song. I also like Revelation. I really like the bonus track, Out to the Sea, I think. And there's a few Ephemeral's really good. There's some really good tracks, but actually it's just number 5 for me because I think the other albums are just that bit better, actually, in spite of the amazing sort of sound of this album and how I think clean it is compared to some of Insomnium's other albums. And that certainly is a strength of Shadows of the Dying Sun. It just felt like it felt like it wasn't quite as good as the next 4 albums I'm coming on to, which are all just, god tier Insomnium, if I can call them that. So number 4 is Winter's Gate, probably another album that would be at the top of a lot of people's lists. This was really popular or at least it really was well received when this came out. It's kind of a bit of a proggy, progressive album with, sort of the same song going through the album, I believe, in several parts, if you like. Each track is a different part of the Winter's Gate journey. And it's like a kind of almost like an Insomnium symphony, if I can say that. It sort of flows very nicely through about the 40 minutes. It's not a very long Insomnium album, but it flows very nicely. That being said, it's not quite, as far as Insomnium album goes, it's maybe not quite as much to my taste, because I like having different, variety of Insomnium songs, if you like. Things that sort of offer you a bit of variation here and there, whilst this does offer that within its kind of long song format. There aren't many moments in here, actually, that would necessarily make this, for me, that absolute top level, or top, my absolute favourite Insomnium album. It's just the reason it just slightly misses out is because I think, as much as this is kind of a progressive, almost, kind of masterpiece in a way, for me, there's just not so many moments in it that I can draw on that make me, it's just, I just didn't feel like there was enough of those moments. I can't expand more than that, forgive me, but it's got to come somewhere, and for me, Winter's Gate comes at number 4, Captural. Number three is a classic. It's Since the Day It All Came Down, their second release from 2004, I'd like to say. And what an album this is! I mean, for a second album, this is a really, really, really strong Insomnium album with a lot going for it. Pretty much from the first track to the very last track. I think, you know, big fan of The Day It All Came Down. Disengagement is a great one. You've got so many songs. I think it's Death Walks on the Earth, I want to say. And it's, yeah, I'm just going to look now. Yeah, Death Walk to the Earth is a really good one. Song of the Forlorn Sun is not Song of the Forlorn Sun is an excellent finish to the album. Daughter of the Moon, that is a killer track. That would possibly be, if I did a bit of a spoiler, if I do a top Insomnium songs, but that one will probably be in definitely top 10, maybe even top 5. Not sure. Won't give that away. And so following on from The Day It All Came Down at my number 2 choice, moving swiftly on, is their latest album. So nice to have a new album almost top of a band's discography series. So here we go. Heart Like a Grave. And this hits you hard. This is a real moving album, I think, throughout. It's kind of fits the title of the album, Heart Like a Grave, quite well. It's pretty heavy emotionally, I think, and the songs and as always those solos really draw out the emotion, I think, of a lot of the music. The melodies are glorious, and I could read the track list, and I don't think I will read out a track that I don't like, but I'll do it quickly. Whale of the North, yep, nice start. Valediction, great song. Neverlast, pretty amazing. Pale Morning Star is god tier. Insomnium, just a wonderful 9-minute track of so many great moments and melodies. And for me, Pale Morning Star is a great demonstration of what makes Insomnium so good. And Bells They Toll is a pretty good one. E-Offering is great. Mute Is My Sorrow is off the charts amazing. Twilight Trails, again, off the charts amazing. Heart Like a Grave, again, off the charts amazing. Coralia, maybe Coralia was actually, you know, partly the reason this isn't quite number 1 is Coralia, because I thought it was an instrumental at the end. It was good. It's a good little track, but I felt they could have finished with another epic song. I really do, with the sort of singing or the you know, the growling, as it were. And my number 1 choice, well, by process of elimination, you will work this out, it is Above the Weeping World. And this album is, for me, just kind of, yeah, one of my all-time favourite albums, I would say, favourite Insomnium album. And as I did with Heart Like a Grave, if you read off the tracks on this album, no weak ones. In fact, pretty much no weak tracks at all. It is just wonderful Insomnium music. A masterpiece as well, I would just say, without shadow of a doubt. Like Heart Like a Grave, and like, I would say, probably most of these albums you could call masterpieces, couldn't you, really? But yeah, this one especially for me is it's my kind of taste for how, you know, how I like my Insomnium, I would say. And Drawn to Black, one of my favourites. Change of Heart, another favourite. Last Statement, perhaps. Like I said with Pale Morning Star, there's something about Last Statement that is extremely powerful and another demonstration of what makes Insomnium so good. And on this one, the closing track is amazing as well, Into the Groves of Death. With that lovely, what Insomnium do really well, those lovely gentle notes, light notes that fade out of some of their songs, and I really like the way they tend to do that as a way of finishing their songs off. Anyway, that brings me to the end of the Insomnium Ranked video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Feel free to put your own lists in the comments if you happen to be passing by, and if you want to, you can like and subscribe, as they always say. But anyway, hope you all have great Easters. See you next time.